Advance to throw up tonight's first pitch from the Landstrom family reunion. Let's welcome Nate Simmers.
Welcome back to Falcon Park, where we have a matchup between the Auburn Doubledays and the Newark Pilots on a sunny Friday afternoon. Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Story alongside Luke Backman. As Luke, it's been an up and down stretch over the past week or so for the Auburn Doubledays, but they head into this 3-game homestand against Newark with some positive ambitions and a chance to clinch a playoff spot today.
Yeah, for the Doubledays, sitting in that fourth position in the West standings, you feel confident. You have a little bit of a lead above the Elmira Pioneers. You feel confident that, hey, we can not only make it into the playoffs, we can do damage, but you don't want to just settle for that. You're looking to make a push, maybe even try and get up to the 2 seed and have a home game here at Falcon Park in the postseason. That's, a lot of work to do to get to that position, but that's the mentality you have to have over these next 3 home games.
Auburn right now 3 games out of Batavia in first place, 2.5 games behind Jamestown, and then a singular game behind Niagara Falls, while leading Elmira by 2.5 games. So Auburn could move up and they could move down over this final road stretch. But again, if they win tonight and Elmira loses, I believe that would clinch a playoff spot for the Auburn Doubledays. Yesterday, Auburn had a chance to take down Batavia for the 2nd day in a row and came up just a tad short, fell in the 10th inning, 11-10. Luke, what were some of your takeaways from that contest?
Yeah, what a game. 10-10 going into extra innings. Got to highlight the top of the 6th where the Doubledays scored 9 runs in the inning. An incredible, again, offensive showing. We saw one inning like that the previous night here at Falcon Park, and then Tyler Vivacqua in the bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, nobody out. He gets out of a jam to send it to extras in the 10th. Doubledays aren't able to come away with the win. I love the battle, though, against a tough and top-leading Batavia team. But the errors, 5 errors on the night. Doubledays need to correct that and limit the errors down this home stretch in these final 3 games in the postseason.
Errors were certainly tough. We saw starting pitcher Matt McGeorge give up 4 runs, but 0 earned runs. Starting pitcher for the Doubledays tonight, Hunter Lefkis, going to look to have a bit more defensive support behind him. Lefkis will be going against Jeremy Riccio to kick things off here, as that first pitch beds in for strike number 1. Lefkis on the campaign with a 5.85 ERA through just over 32 innings of work. Second pitch misses the zone. Sporting a 3-3 record through 8 starts. Second breaking ball can't find the zone, and Lefkis falls behind 2 balls, 1 strike.
Big opening night here for the Doubledays in this quick series. You got 3 against the Pilots over the next 3 days. You want to get off to a solid start because that one's fouled away. Because right now the Pilots, they're not headed to the postseason, but they're trying to play spoiler to the Doubledays here in these next 3 games. So both teams playing with something to prove. Obviously, Doubledays, they have some goals in mind in the future. Pilots trying to play spoiler, like I mentioned.
Yeah, as that one hit foul, barely foul. 4 teams that get eliminated a bit earlier on than the contending squads. What it then becomes is a goal of, well, our season might not be a success, but we can be the reason that someone else's season wasn't a success. It's always having something to strive for, having a goal to strive for. Well, that's now Newark's mission over the next 3 days of baseball. As that swung on and missed, Lefkis fans his first batter of the night.
Great start from Hunter Lefkis right there. Always love to see starting pitcher start the game off with a strikeout like Lefkis does.
That'll bring up Joe Wintermute, shortstop out of Salem University. This pilot squad has brought up a bunch of new players as, it's late in the season, plenty of players heading off to get a start on their college careers, just have to leave the team early for various reasons. So Newark has an influx of new talent. Wintermute, one of those guys. First pitch was in there for a strike. Second one fouled off.
You always have to wonder about team chemistry when that's the case. You have guys coming in, honestly, just for a few games to the end of the season. What the chemistry is and how they're going to gel on the field. Obviously, Wintermute playing shortstop, so how's he going to gel with the second baseman, the first baseman? So always questions, but again, you're here for 3 games. Everyone, to this degree, plays and acts like a professional, so you'd hope that these guys would gel, especially in these short times they're playing together.
The 0-2 pitch misses high. Look, I think that's especially important for the pitcher-catcher connection. Today, the Pilots will be having Calvin Burkholder on the mound, who is a veteran of the squad. It's a second straight strikeout for Hunter Lefkis. Second straight swinging strikeout. Brings up Alex Wooten. But as I was mentioning, Calvin Burkholder on the mound for the Pilots tonight. He's a veteran on this Newark squad, but over the next 2 days after this, it might be some new pitchers for the Pilots, and that's where you just have to have those. You have to get those down in the days where you can, the days off, and there's not many for a lot of these Pilots players. That pitch in there, strike number 1.
Right now, Hunter Lefkis stealing for the Doubledays on the season coming into tonight. 32 strikeouts on the season, already kicking that up by 2 to 34 with his first 2 batters he's faced.
It's fouled off. Yeah, Lefkis averages around a strikeout per inning. For him to start off the day with 2 straight punch-outs, it's a pretty good sign. There's the chance for a third here, 0-2 count. Gets the third strikeout of the inning. Lefkis strikes out the side and gives the Doubledays a 0-0 ball game heading into the bottom of the first inning. Stick around to see how the Doubledays fare offensively.
And fans, we'd like to welcome the family reunion of the Landstrom family. They're out on the right field party deck, and we're happy that you're spending part of your family reunion with us here tonight at the ballpark. Leading off with the Doubledays, second baseman from Niagara University, number 21, Tyler Vivacqua.
Kicking things off for the Doubledays in the bottom of the first inning is the leadoff man, Tyler Vivacqua. Vivacqua's been leadoff in almost every Doubledays game that's been played at home this season. His first year as a Doubleday, he's truly made his mark going against Calvin Burkholder, the righty pitcher for the Pilots. First pitch catches the outside of the strike zone.
Doubledays doing something tonight that really we haven't seen all season, and that's going with a 9-man lineup.
It's going to be interesting as Vivacqua grounds one over to short for the quick first out of the inning.
Batting the left fielder from
It'll bring
Kansas
up
City
Bobby
University,
Hardy, the
number
left
34,
fielder.
Bobby Hardy.
Hardy on the campaign has worked that batting average to a 253 mark. It's been higher, it's been lower. It's kind of settled back into the average, back to the mean. Burkholder gets another strike in there to kick off the at-bat. Burkholder on the campaign, similar win-loss record when compared to Lefkis, 4-3 through 8 starts. Average of ERA of 4.04. A strikeout total of 32 compared to just 14 walks, pretty good ratio. As Hardy goes down swinging, brings up Mark Gialusi. We just saw Doubledays pitcher Hunter Lefkis go 1-2-3 with relatively quick speed. Now Burkholder looking to do the exact same thing against the Villanova product.
Yes, both starting pitchers going 5 up, 5 down, respectively. Just begin this ball game.
Another first pitch strike thrown by Burkholder. As Gialusi catches a piece of it, goes right to the shortstop. Wintermute throws it over. One big hop, but it gets over to the first baseman, Wooten, for out number 3. Both the Pilots and Doubledays go down and 3 batters in the first. We'll see how the Doubledays defense does in the second when we come back.
We specialize in you. In fact, we reminded that we have a game-worn jersey. It's going to be raffled off tonight. Tickets are just $1. You can get them at Adler's Souvenir Shack. And if you're 12 and under, we remind you that tonight you get a free Make Your Own Sunday, but you need to have a yellow ticket that you get at the ticket booth. So if you're under 12 or under, and you don't have a yellow ticket yet, go out to the ticket booth and pick that up for your free Sunday. Fans, we'd like to thank Hematology and Oncology Associates of CNY for their generous sponsorship of Doubledays Baseball. HOA specializes in internal medicine, medical oncology, radiation oncology, and hematology, and they are located right here in the city of Auburn. And we are proud to serve Hoffman hot dogs and sauces in the ballpark concession stand. We thank Hoffman for their sponsorship of Doubledays Baseball, including the Hoffman home plate.
Back here at Falcon Park in the top of the second inning. It was a quick first, both offenses going down 1-2-3. Now Hunter Lefkis looks to keep his momentum going after striking at the side in the top of the first. They'll be starting against Ben Buxton, the designated hitter out of Monroe Community College. So the Pitch bends in for a strike.
Funny, I feel like the break in between the first and the second right there was longer than the actual inning.
Might have been longer than the full inning itself. It's just 15 minutes into the game. Another swing and a miss makes it an 0-2 count for Lefkis.
Makes it a quick game when starting pitcher Hunter Lefkis is making sure all the pilots are swinging and missing, not throwing any extra balls that he has to.
And another swing and a miss, the fourth consecutive strikeout for Hunter Lefkis, who is on fire right now.
4 up, 4 down, all via the strikeout. Lefkis, he's dealing early here at Falcon Park.
One important note that 3 of those 4 came on swinging strikeouts. So Lefkis has been getting guys to chase balls and getting them to miss. His curveball seems to be his pitch of choice so far today, as that hit over to the right field and lands just foul. 0-1 count. So any hopes of an immaculate inning for Lefkis are shut down, but chance for another strikeout of this side is there.
What would you choose, Ryan? Immaculate inning or striking out the side?
I think the immaculate inning has got to be number 1. It doesn't really get much better than that. As another strike thrown by Lefkis going to the 83-mile-per-hour fastball.
Been mixing and matching his pitches on the mound so far in tonight's game.
It's worked brilliantly. The 0-2 pitch misses high. Couldn't get that curveball down. Seemed to mostly be going to that low to mid 80s fastball and then the mid 70s breaking ball. On the 1-2, misses high again. Mason Haar up at the plate. Haar, a veteran of this Newark squad, but his batting average has tumbled this season all the way down to 135 on the campaign. Two balls, 2 strikes. And it's going to be fouled off. Haar stays alive. On deck, it's Evan Brock, the third baseman, followed up by Liam Wagner, playing second today. Two-two pitch, swung on, hit into shallow right field, and it does not appear that we'll see another strikeout at the side. Haar makes a break for second with an errant throw, will make it there with ease.
Yeah, Mason Hart, as soon as he hit that and was out of the box, he immediately was thinking 2. He rounded first, big round of first base, and immediately took off for second. Good job by Gianni DeCerbo cutting that ball off before it was able to get to the wall, but speed of Mason Hart was able to propel him into second base.
There's a pretty big gap there in right center field. Haar hit it to the perfect spot. Now it's Evan Brock, the third baseman, with the runner in scoring position, just one out on the board. Curveball misses low.
So, Har, the first base runner we see tonight on either side. 1, 2, 3 innings for both the visitors and the home team tonight.
Brock stands 6 foot, 215. Has some power behind his swing as that one misses the zone yet again.
Some Doubledays fans asking the home plate umpire, where did that one miss? Looked like a really nice pitch from Lefkis on the bottom part of the zone.
It's a big crowd for the Doubledays today. Even have a full group congregated over there on the deck on the right side. Brock fouls that one off.
Beautiful night for baseball as well. We mentioned when we were on the field pregame, not too hot like we've seen in previous days, just about the right temperature here at Falcon Park.
Those past 2 days were brutal in terms of the heat. Should not be wearing dark clothing on those days because the sun will get to you. But today, much more relaxed, I'd say, is the grounder. Hit over to Vivacqua at second, over to Smith playing first base. However, Har will advance to third.
Now batting the second baseman, number 36, Liam Wagner.
The defense for the Doubledays today, mostly normal. Meyer playing center, DeSerbo playing right, Hardy playing left, and the infield mostly the same as normal. The one change, I guess you could say, manager Matt Petrosi going with Brendan Smith at first base. The first time at home we've seen him play first, as 36 Liam Wagner fouls off the first pitch of the at-bat.
We've been seeing Nick Izzo at first the last few games and throughout the season. Earlier, I saw Brendan Smith after BP was over. He was fielding some extra ground balls and getting some more work at first base. So definitely excited, getting ready for his opportunity here at home, command first base.
Lefkis has worked this at-bat to a 1-1 count. Reddy's on third, knowing that he's running on anything with 2 outs on the board. It's another strike thrown by Lefkis, who's caught plenty of batters looking so far this game.
Yeah, he's kept Pilots hitters on their toes throughout the first 2 innings.
1-2 pitch. Misses low in the dirt. Good stop from Gialusi, knowing that if any ball gets past him right there, that's going to be Mason Har prancing on in to score.
Mark Gialusi behind the plate. We mentioned it just a few nights ago. Him and Anthony DeCesare would be switching between catching and DHing for probably the remainder of the season.
Wagner fouls that one off. And yeah, we saw just 2 days ago, Gialusi catching here at home. Cesare catching yesterday. Now Gialusi back behind the plate today.
Can't go wrong when you have those two as options behind the plate.
Yeah, both extremely competent fielders as well as being 2 of the top hitters in the Doubledays lineup. That's fouled off yet again by Wagner. Still 2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. DeCesare actually on deck for when the Doubledays come back. He'll be the first batter going out there.
Lefkis trying to find a put-away pitch against Wagner, who's fouled off 2 consecutive pitches with 2 strikes.
Two-two pitch. Gets Wagner swinging and missing yet again. 5th punch out of the game for Hunter Lefkis. The 4th swinging. He is on fire tonight. We'll see if he can keep things going in the 3rd, and we'll see how the Doubledays do offensively when we come back in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
there.
Doubledays up to bat here in the bottom of the second inning. Anthony DeCesare kicking things off. Designated hitter tonight. No extra hitter, as the Doubledays just running 9 batters in the lineup today. First pitch misses low and outside. Second pitch will miss inside.
And I wonder if that's running 9 out there on the offensive side of the ball from Matt Petrosi. If that's something he's just doing tonight, as the 2-0 is going to be outside for ball 3, or that's something now that playoff time is coming that he's saying, hey, I want my 9 best hitters out there, you know, not having an extra guy in the lineup as that one's in there for strike.
Pitch in there for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. And Luke, I agree with you. I think it's likely, with just 3 games left before playoffs, that's hit. Pop fly over to the first baseman, who gets to it with relative ease for out number 1. I think that's just the decision Petrosi made, realizing it is the final home stretch of the season, with playoffs just a few days away, where, again, in the playoffs, you can only have 9 batters, don't have the extra hitter there. You might as well just get used to that setup, get used to that format, and be ready to play playoff baseball. Quick 0-1 count to Adam Sullivan, the shortstop, after a pop out from Anthony DeCesare to kick off the inning. Holder misses there for a 1-1 count with an out. Another outside pitch makes it 2 balls, 1 strike. Adam Sullivan, you mentioned, has been on a tear recently, getting that batting average up to .311, fouls that one off. Still hasn't really found the power behind his swing this campaign. Just 1 extra base hit on the year, but those singles just tend to add up, and they always seem to be when runners are in scoring position. As Sullivan fouls off another pitch.
Yeah, Sullivan just seems to be a contact hitter. He's able to find the barrel of the bat to the ball and just get on base. And that's what you want from a hitter. It doesn't always have to be for power. Having Sullivan in the middle of the lineup is always nice.
Sullivan lets that pitch go outside to load up the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from Burkholder. Gets Sullivan swinging and missing. Burkholder's second strikeout of the night, as he's gone through the Doubledays. 5 up, 5 down. Now going against Gianni DeCerbo to make it 6.
DeCerbo had a nice night against Batavia last night. 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs against the Muck Dogs for DeCerbo. Looking to copy that performance here at Falcon Park.
That performance has helped get DeCerbo's average up to .338, second on the Doubledays. Trails just former Doubleday Tommy Kerwin, who left a few weeks ago. So out of all active players, DeCerbo actually leading the squad. Looks like it'll be a tight race between DeCerbo and Favakwa to see who finishes with the highest batting average at the end of the campaign out of full season players. DeCerbo's worked his way to a 2-1 count in this at-bat. 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed. DeCerbo thought he could have gotten a big piece of that one.
Yeah, what a cut right there from DeCerbo. If he got a piece of that one, he would have done damage to it, certainly. Now going to have to battle with 2 strikes on him.
DeCerbo is just a bit quick on the 83-mile-per-hour fastball. This time, he's going to hit one opposite that goes right over to the deck. Versus a few fans out there to jump out of the way.
I believe I heard there's a family reunion on the deck. Great place to meet up with the family at Falcon Park.
For any of you fans listening at home, maybe that's a potential idea. As the pitch misses outside, makes it a second straight full count for Calvin Burkholder. Payoff pitch is going to be fouled off. DeCerbo stays alive.
And if fans want to come out tomorrow, fireworks tomorrow for the final time this season after the game.
Good time. Last time we had fireworks was HOA night back on the 12th. As that pitch hit deep by DeCerbo, it'll go straight to the center fielder. Lucio gets underneath that for out number 3. 6 Auburn Doubledays have gone to the plate. All of them have been struck down by Calvin Burkholder. The Doubledays defense will return here in the top of the 3rd inning. Back here at Falcon Park at the top of the 3rd inning, Ryan Story alongside Luke Backman. Doubledays knotted 0-0 with the Newark Pilots. Newark 7.5 games behind the Doubledays this year, way out of a playoff spot. 16-22-3. This is a team that was hovering around 500 for a majority of the year, then went through a rough stretch recently. I think their season as a whole can kind of be categorized by their last 2 games, as it's going to be number 31 Parker Zeisser, the catcher, swinging and missing. They look at their last 2 games, a 6-5 loss to Elmira yesterday, and on Tuesday a 6-4 loss to Niagara Falls. 2 good teams that they just came up narrowly short against, and that's been the story of the season for the Pilots this year.
Yeah, we were talking with manager Kyle French, and that's exactly what he said. Hey, the fact that they've been in plenty of close games, they just haven't been able to get the win in those games. That one's outside to even the count at 2-2. That's really been, like you said, the story of the season for Newark. But that shows not only have they had, close games, but they can compete with these good teams. You just said their last 2 games, they can compete and take these teams to the brink.
That's another base hit for the Newark Pilots. Parker Zeisser, getting on base right there. Bring up Justin Angora, the right fielder.
Lefkis jammed Zeisser right there, but he was able to battle that one off and have just enough strength to lift it into the outfield. Good pitch from Lefkis, just better hitting right there.
That's another deep hit for the Pilots. This one will drop into the glove of DeCerbo. He doesn't try to throw it over to first, doesn't get greedy, just tosses it into Tyler Vivacqua at second. Doubledays have their first out of the inning.
I've been seeing that more outfielders, especially right fielders, if they catch a fly ball, trying double the guy off at first. I've seen with Aaron Judge, I think Juan Soto and both Ronald Acuna tried it on him a couple times throughout the past couple weeks, but I think that's just another trend.
Yeah, it seems to be. DeCerbo not getting too aggressive there with Hunter Lefkis following on the mound. Not too much of a reason to. He's struck out 5 batters already today.
I know in MLB The Show, I always like to, someone singles out to right field, I try and gun them down at first.
Yeah,
Never,
catch some of the worst users a bit unsuspecting.
right. Never works out as that one gets away from Lefkis.
And Lefkis going to run over to third, cover the bag, but it looks like Parker Zeiser will get over to second for free effectively.
That's just an unforced error from the Doubledays that can't take place. A pickoff attempt that it was just Lefkis trying to keep Zeiser honest at first base. Wasn't his A-plus move. The throw from Brendan Smith gets away from Lefkis, and Zeiser gets to move 90 feet. It's just errors like that for the Doubledays that cannot happen.
Grant Ingram up to bat, now with a runner in scoring position instead of a runner on first. Second consecutive inning, the Pilots have had a runner on second. Lefkis goes back to his favorite pitch today, 75-mile-per-hour breaking ball. The fastball misses low and inside. Ingram is the final batter in the Pilots order. Then it'll flip back around to the top where Jeremy Riccio, Joe Wintermute, and Alex Wooten all stand after having struck out in the first inning. Giuliuzzi kind of walks up a little bit, had a few words for Hunter Lefkis, probably words of encouragement. It's now a 2-1 count.
Yeah, it looks like Lefkis kind of lost the grip on that one when he delivered it. Trying to battle back in this count.
Bakwa gets back over to the first and second gap after originally trying to be there over at second in case Lefkis did want to throw it back to try to nab Zeiser. Three-one count, and that ball will dip into the dirt for ball number 4. Ingram will take first base on a walk, and the top of the Pilots order is now up. Jeremy Riccio with 2 runners on, 1 out on the board.
There's some traffic early in this ball game for Hunter Lefkis. Phenomenal those first 2 innings. Now runners on first and second. Then Lefkis is going to try and have to navigate here against in the 3rd inning.
First pitch swung on and missed from Riccio. Lefkis had Riccio's number in the first at-bat of the day, caught him swinging. Riccio, a new addition for this Pilot squad, as he hits one right past Charlie Wortham. That'll bring a runner going for home, and the throw does not get there in time. Parker Zeiser will score from second, and the first run of the game is on the board for the Newark Pilots.
Jeremy Riccio just turning on that ball and just out of reach from the outstretched arms of Charlie Wortham at third base. Parker Zeiser was on the move from second. He was able to come around to score. Good throw from Bobby Hardy, just not in time to get Zeiser.
RBI single from Jeremy Riccio brings up Joe Wintermute. Still runners on first and second with 1 out. Lefkis has quickly got ahead in this count, 0-2, and can't get Wintermute swinging again. This time takes a ball, 1-1 count. Lefkis is nearing 50 pitches through 3 innings of work. And pitch misses the zone. Lefkis started off hot with 4 strikeouts for his first 4 batters, 5, 2-1 count. time will be called, granted to the batter, Joe Wintermute. This game has plenty of playoff implications for the Doubledays, trying to hold on to, at the very least, that 4th playoff spot in the PGCBL. That pitch will just barely miss the zone. 3 balls, 1 strike. Lefkis a ball away from loading the bases, trying to avoid doing that here. Three-one pitch will catch the inside part of the plate. Wintermute thought he was about to get to walk over to first with impunity. Instead, it'll make it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
A beauty from Lefkis, curved in at the last second now with the payoff pitch.
Big pitch upcoming, and it's going to be fouled off. As both the pitcher and the batter will ready for the second payoff pitch. Lefkis keeping an eye on Ingram over at second. Round 2. This time, Lefkis wins the second strikeout of the day for him against Joe Wintermute. And that puts 2 outs on the board, bringing up Alex Wooten, the first baseman.
Huge strikeout right there from Lefkis, going 81 miles per hour up in the zone to get Wintermute now 1 out away from getting out of this top of the 3rd with only giving up 1 run. Exactly what you want to do and hand it over to the offense. 1 run is nothing to this Auburn offense.
Especially for an offense that we've seen be able to go on huge rallies throughout the past few days. Yesterday, a 9-run rally in the 6th, as you mentioned. 2 days ago, scored 12 runs in an inning against Batavia. So this team, you never know just how much damage they can do. As a grounder hit over to Tyler Vivacqua, pauses for a second, tosses it to Brendan Smith for out number 3. Lefkis gets out of a jam, only giving up 1 run. We'll be back at the bottom of the 3rd to see how the Doubledays respond.
Auburn, in addition to their delicious pizza, they also serve the best in homemade bread, subs, and salads. So check them out on Wall Street right here in Auburn. And tonight's game is also sponsored in part by Lions National Bank. LNB is all about people. Leading off for the Doubledays, the third baseman from Eastern.
Doubledays back here in the bottom of the 3rd, trying to get their first base runner of the day. Brendan Smith will kick things off. First baseman. Then 6 up, 6 down. Starting pitcher Calvin Burkholder. Pilots. Brendan Smith on the season batting just 171. After a recent dip, but could certainly get those numbers back up. Just a few good games down the stretch. Second pitch misses outside for a 2-0 count.
Yeah, we mentioned the big innings for the Doubledays. Just in total, this offense, the last 2 games, they've scored 29 runs.
Strike. Pitch in there. It's going to be Smith looking for a 2-1 count.
So for them, a 1 run is nothing. That's what starting pitcher Hunter Lefkis wants to keep it at. That one's inside.
3 balls, 1 strike as we hit 7:15 ball game. Smith hits it right over to the shortstop. A chopper that Mason Hard gathers up, tosses over to Wooten for out number 1.
The third baseman from Mississippi State University.
Charlie Wortham, then Sam Meyer, rounding things out for the Doubledays order. Again, just 9 batters today for Auburn. After Meyer will flip back around to Tyler Vivacqua, the leadoff batter. Tries to go opposite there, instead he'll hit it right behind him. I'd say, Luke, one thing that you've talked about at length throughout the season is how it's a good thing when hitters start to go hit opposite, and I think Wortham's one of the better examples of that. Always someone who's willing to go the opposite way, although he pulls that one just narrowly foul down the third base line.
Yeah, that one didn't turn foul until the last second. Was riding that foul line down the third base and left field way the entire time. Brock, the third baseman, I think even when he caught it, he wasn't exactly sure whether or not that was fair or foul, but home plate umpire came out from behind the plate, threw his hands up, signaling a foul ball.
That ball hit high over to the shortstop. Har calls off the third baseman and comes down with it. Quick second out of the inning. Calvin Burkholder, the Doubledays. Last hope for the lineup to get a base runner the first time through it. Sam Meyer, the center fielder, with 2 outs on the board.
Yeah, Calvin Burkholder talked about how Hunter Lefkis is done for the first 3 innings. Calvin Burkholder been perfect through the first 8 hitters he's faced. He's dealing on the mound as well.
Hasn't been quite as flashy as he gets first pitch strike against Sam Meyer. Doesn't have the same strikeout numbers. We've seen Hunter Lefkis already record 6. Well, it's just 2 for Calvin Burkholder. He's just done everything that he's needed to do. He's started almost every at-bat off with a first pitch strike, so he's gotten ahead in counts, and then he's used that to his advantage, forcing the Doubledays to play defensive at the plate. It's worked in his favor so far. 1-1 count, misses low and outside.
That's a great point you make. The first pitch strikes. That's kind of what plagued Hunter Lefkis in the top of the 3rd inning. In the first 2 innings, he was getting ahead of hitters and working in pitchers' count. In the 3rd inning, he got behind a few hitters and was in hitters' counts trying to battle back. That's the difference. As Burkholder, like you just mentioned, he's been ahead in almost every count tonight.
That ball's hit hard, hit deep over to left field, but it looks like the left fielder in. It will be Har grabbing that one, as that is out number 3, and the Pilots will maintain their 1-0 lead. We'll be back in the top of the 4th. Doubledays trail by 1.
Hey, for our young fans who are 12 and under, if you have a yellow ice cream coupon, now's the time to go behind the first base grandstand and get in line for your free ice cream on Sunday. It's right behind the first base grandstand, and we'd like to thank the Hershey Corporation and Classic Home of Auburn for sponsoring tonight's ice cream giveaway.
5 here in the top of the 4th inning. Auburn trailing the Newark Pilots 1-0. Hasn't been the most successful day at the plate for the Doubledays. Have not gotten a base runner in 3 innings. But now it's the Doubledays defense, which has been a bit better. First pitch misses outside. Hunter Lefkis already up to 6 punch-outs on the day. 1-0 count to Ben Buxton, who struck out in his first at-bat.
This is the point of the game. You're already 3 innings down. Offense hasn't come to life at all. You're Hunter Lefkis and the defense. You're just trying to keep it at a relatively close game. That swung on a nice pitch from Lefkis for strike at number 2. You want to keep it at 1-0, 2-0 if they score another run. Just always give your offense an opportunity to win or tie this ball game. Obviously, a lot more baseball to be played. Want to keep it like this.
And that's going to be the second strikeout of the day for Ben Buxton and number 7 of the day for Hunter Lefkis, as it's going to be Gialucci tossing it over to Smith. Drop third strike. Mason Haar now steps up to the plate. He doubled in his first time around.
Gotta say, it seems like Lefkis is confusing a lot of these Pilots hitters with off-speed pitches in the dirt. A lot of them have been swinging over the top like golf-type swings, and obviously not making any contact. This is where I gotta say we've seen a majority of the 7 strikeouts be.
Rounder hit over to Vivacqua, who's been getting a ton of work today. Gets it over to Smith for out number 2. I know we had mentioned how the strikeouts have been kind of piling up, and that also meant the pitch count was piling up. Lefkis probably happy to see those first pitch outs, even though it isn't quite a strikeout, not as glamorous, but keeps the pitch count low, keeps his arm a little bit healthier and more rested.
Yeah, for a pitcher who's trying to extend his stay in this ball game, he'll take the first pitch outs.
There could be another one, as it's going to be Vivacqua making the play yet again. 2 pitches, Vivacqua records 2 outs, and Lefkis gets out of the top of the 4th with ease. We'll be back at the bottom half of the inning when we return.
Now time for our scavenger hunt. Here is down behind home plate on the walkway. She's got a Mesa Grande gift card for whoever brings her the item that she's looking for.
Alrighty, you guys. So today, I'm going to be looking for the first person who can bring me the 2025 pocket schedule for the Auburn Doubledays.
No way, that kid just had it. He did, wow.
We got a winner!
It's going to be the leadoff batter, Tyler Vivacqua, up to bat for the Doubledays here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 9 batters up, 9 batters down so far for Auburn. Auburn hoping to have more success with the second rotation of the lineup against Calvin Burkholder. Vivacqua lets that first pitch go for strike number 1.
Had a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel for the first 3.5 innings. Doubledays trying to break that trend.
Auburn will need to break it at some point as they trail 1-0. First, before they even think about scoring runs, they're just trying to get on base. Still have not yet done that. Vivacqua hits one high, and it's going to be the shortstop, Joe Wintermute coming down with it for out number 1. Bobby Hardy up to bat. He struck out his first time around.
Yeah, of the first 10 outs, Burkholder only has 2 strikeouts, but his defense behind him, they've played a clean game so far as well. First pitch is high for ball 1.
Look at the scouting report for Calvin Burkholder. It's kind of surprising because he's known more as a pitcher who gets a ton of strikeouts, but gives up a relatively high batting average for what his ERA is. So going against the scouting report through this game, not letting any hits go, but the strikeouts haven't been there either. Somewhat surprising, and you have to wonder if he'll return back towards the mean through the latter half of his outing. Count now 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, Doubleday hitters just not able to time up Burkholder so far in this ball game. Just been confusing them with a mixture of pitches.
Already not fooled by the outside breaking ball. Doesn't chase there to make it 3 balls, 1 strike. Burkholder a ball away from losing his perfect game, as Hardy fouls that off. It's a full count to Bobby Hardy. 1 out on the board. Mark Gialucci and Anthony DeCesare, the catching duo, up next. As Hardy will ground one right towards the pitcher. Instead, it's going to be Wintermute throwing it over to first. Does not get there in time. An infield single for Bobby Hardy. The first base runner of the day for the Auburn Doubledays.
For the Doubledays, you don't care how it happens. You'll take a base runner right there. Bobby Hardy just getting a piece of that one via the end of the bat, kind of rolling it over to the shortstop, but slow roller with the speed Hardy has. He was going to make it all the way, and actually Wintermute and the Pilots got lucky because that throw got away from him, actually hit Hardy, who had just passed first base. If it doesn't, that's going to the wall over there behind first base, and Hardy's probably standing on second, so nice break, big break for the Pilots.
First pitch outside. And we've seen this inning hasn't quite been the same dominant Calvin Burkholder in terms of those first few pitches of at-bats. He's fallen behind in a few counts early on. Hardy takes off, and it doesn't matter because that throw is going to hit Mark Gialucci right in the rear section, or maybe lower back, so he wasn't too happy about that one. That has to be a little bit of a stinger, even though it wasn't the fastest pitch in the world. Mark Gialucci will take first. Hardy, who's going to get to second anyways, just got there a little bit quicker. That brings up Anthony DeCesare with 2 runners on.
It's like Mark Gialucci just attracts and has a magnet in his back for baseballs. In the last home game against Geneva, was hit by a pitch twice in that ball game. I believe both in that back area. And both times he was hit by a pitch. Actually, the bases were loaded, so he drove in a run. So, you know, that kind of made up for the hit by pitch. Now this one, hey, he's just taking his base.
Trying to look and come around to score. Hardy on second is the tying run. Gialucci, if he gets back to home, would give the Doubledays the lead. 0-1 count to Anthony DeCesare after a first pitch strike. Cesare will be followed up by Adam Sullivan and Gianni DeCerbo. As DeCesare hits one right to the first baseman, who tosses it to Burkholder for out number 2, but both Doubledays base runners advance. Gialucci to second, Hardy to third, and now Adam Sullivan has a chance to tie the game or give the Doubledays the lead, or potentially, with an out, would end a rally for Auburn.
Nice
so, bunch of different outcomes possible here.
Nice play from the first baseman, Wooten, not only getting to that ball, but delivering a nice toss to Burkholder, who did a good job covering the bag, as that was going to be the only play and a tough play to make.
First one fouled off by Sullivan. Newark in the field today has been very good, as we've talked about. Burkholder hasn't exactly been striking out batters, so he's relied on his defensive support to be solid, and they certainly have been. 0-1 pitch right down the gut for strike number 2, 85-mile-per-hour fastball.
Burkholder turning up the heat right there for that second strike. Now head of the count, 0-2 to Sullivan.
0-2. Sullivan scoops one into shallow center field, and it lands just past the center fielder Riccio. That's going to score 2 runs, and it's a double for Adam Sullivan.
Adam Sullivan doing what he does best, just lifting one into the field. That one drops. Riccio came on to that one strong, made a nice diving play. I think actually tipped it with his glove as the ball went up and then actually landed right in front of him. He thought it went behind him, but then was, to his surprise, looked down and saw the ball. But either way, Sullivan standing on second, and 2 runs are in for the Doubledays, who quickly have taken this lead.
Gianni DiCerbo up to bat with a runner in scoring position. Hits that over to right field. Angora tried to get to it and does for the final out of the inning. But the Doubledays go from trailing by 1 to leading by 1 with a 2-run rally in the 4th. They'll return with their first lead of the game here in the top of the 5th inning when we come back.
Announcement for all young fans that are with us tonight. If you want to run the bases tonight, you'll be able to do that at the end of the 5th inning. And in order to run the bases, you need to meet Kira behind the right field grandstand during the bottom of the 5th. If you don't know Kira, she's on the walkway just behind third base, waving. So meet her behind the right field grandstand during the bottom of the 3rd. And Kira, along with Aiden Zer and Abner, have some coupons in their hands. The coupons are for free ice cream cones from Classic Homes and Peach Treats. And those will go to the fans that make the most noise in the next 60 seconds. So if you want some free ice cream, make some noise. Leading off for Newark, the second baseman, number 36, Liam Wagner.
The Doubledays lead here in the top of the 5th inning. Ryan Story alongside Luke Backman. As we're only an hour into this game, it's already the 5th inning, moving pretty quickly here at Falcon Park. Liam Wagner going against Hunter Lefkis, who's still on the mound. Strike number 1.
Good to see that the Auburn offense is alive here, scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th.
Ivan kicking. Lefkis misses low, 1-1 count. 2-run rally. That's Hardy get on base with single. Mark Gialusi get hit by a pitch, and both of them come around to score thanks to bases clearing double from Adam Sullivan. Narrow miss there from Hunter Lefkis to make it a 2-1 count.
This is where I'd like to see a shutdown inning from Lefkis. Your offense finally comes alive, gives you a 1-run lead. Like to see him try and go 1-2-3 like he's done in this game.
Grounder hit over to Sullivan. Sullivan gathers it up, throws it to Brendan Smith, out number 1.
Now batting for center, number 31.
Good start to the inning. If shutdown inning is on the mind for Lefkis. I'm going to bring up Parker Zeiser, who had a single against him already.
Zeiser is responsible for the only run of the day for the Pilots. As I mentioned, singled, came all the way around to score thanks to a single from Jeremy Riccio. This time around, we'll see Lefkis get ahead in the count, 0-1 to Parker Zeiser. Lefkis up to 7 strikeouts on the day. Hasn't been quite as dominant with fanning batters of the past few innings. Given up a little bit more contact, but the contact has mostly been bad, or at least good for the pitcher. It's just been grounders and pretty easy pop flies for the infield to handle. 0-1 misses way outside.
And I always think that's important for pitchers to realize, hey, you got 7 infielders and outfielders behind you for a reason. You don't need to try and blow a pitch past the batter every single at-bat and every single pitch. Use your defense. We saw Burkholder, he's done so tonight. Obviously, the last inning giving up 2 runs, but love to see Lefkis do that as well. Someone's in there for a strike and not put all the pressure on him on the mound, trying to, have the perfect pitch every single time.
Definitely is. Been throwing a lot of perfect pitches tonight. Really toying with the edge of the strike zone. Has been able to catch these Pilots looking. This time just a tad too low. Evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch swung, fouled off. Seen a little bit of turnover. The Newark Pilots staff. Kyle French, new manager for the Pilots. It's his 2nd game as the head coach for the Newark squad. There's a payoff pitch hit directly back to Lefkis, who manages to stop it and toss it over to Smith for out number 2. Lefkis looked pretty incredulous that he was able to stop that one, but he just completely tried to get out of the way, but knocked it down, and the umpire is going to go out there to check on him, I believe, but it seems that Lefkis is fine.
Yeah, Lefkis' idea of stopping the baseball is just kind of shelling up and turning his back as that one hit him in the number 8 on the back of his jersey. Lefkis does a great job reacting to it, immediately locates the ball, barehands it, and jogs over to first and tosses it over to Brendan Smith. Glad to see, 1, that play result in an out, and 2, that Lefkis is okay, immediately back on the rubber, ready to pitch.
Yeah, obviously the most important thing if you're a pitcher is that you don't get hurt on a ricochet right back to the mound. But it always helps when you have a pitcher who can play some defense. We've seen over the past week or so for the Doubledays here at home, they've been getting some hits right up the middle. And when the pitcher's there to play defense, those don't work out so well. But if you hit those grounders right up the middle and the pitcher is a bit more stagnant than normal, then those turn into base hits, and those base hits add up after a while.
100%. We could be looking, instead of an inning with 2 outs, looking at an inning with 1 out and a man on first. Makes a big difference in the long run.
1-1 count to Justin Angora. Pitch misses low. Yes, nearing 75 pitches on his outing. This is into nearly 5 full innings of work. It's a rope over to left field. It'll drop for a base hit. Just the 4th hit of the game for the Newark Pilots. Now just Angora on first with Grant Ingram, the extra hitter who walked in his first time around, up to bat.
This is where I'd like to see Lefkis limit the damage. All right. The 2-out single right there. Trying to attack Grant Ingram right here. Walked him the last at bat. Go right at him at the plate.
It's away from him there, low and outside. On the year, Lefkis average just about 4 innings per start. So could make it through 6, which he seems on pace to do so far this game. That'd be a pretty quality start for the Auburn Doubledays with their pitching staff. For nearly all PGCBL squads, towards the end of the campaign, pitching kind of tightens up as guys have to head back to school. So an extended, prolonged start from Hunter Lefkis would be huge for an Auburn Doubledays squad who has 3 tough home games ahead, 3 tough road games ahead of them against Newark. 1-1 count to Grant Ingram with 2 outs on the board. Ingram fouls that one off.
And not only are pitchers going back to college, but the pitchers who are staying here, they're reaching the end of their pitch limit, or
Yes.
the limit they had given to them by the college for this season. So that's something Matt Petrosi also has to work with, seeing where he can balance getting these pitchers in, especially with postseason games potentially coming up.
Lefkis looking for his 8th strikeout of the day. Ingram a bit more hesitant, wants to step out of the box. Let's make your own Sunday day here at Falcon Park. Little mini helmets with ice cream in them being tossed around. Lefkis also wants a delay, apparently tosses it over to first. Pickoff attempt trying to nab Justin Angora.
Won't lie, Ryan, my eye caught that Sunday immediately. There's got to be something for the press box, too. I know it's just for kids, 12 and under, but I'd like to, subtract 10 years on my age for that Sunday.
Yeah, that would certainly be nice as that pitch narrowly misses the zone there. The Falcon faithful weren't too thrilled about that being called a ball. It looks like nobody on the Auburn side was too thrilled about that. 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's a runner on first. As that swung on and missed. Strikeout number 8 of the day for Hunter Lefkis, who is on fire. As it seems like the Pilots just can't touch his stuff. Doubledays will be back still with a 2-1 lead when we return in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Leading off for Doubledays, third baseman from Eastern Connecticut State, number 35, Brendan Smith.
Auburn Doubledays lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Brendan Smith up to bat, going against Calvin Burkholder, who started the first 3 innings on fire. Had a perfect game going into the 4th, but in that 4th, blew up a tiny bit. Nothing too drastically bad for Burkholder, but now a 2-1 ball game in favor of the Doubledays as Brendan Smith chops one over to the third baseman. Rock getting it to first in time to sit down Smith.
Nice play right there from Rock, having to quickly transfer that ball from the glove to the throwing arm. Throwing it across the diamond to get a speedy Brendan Smith, but able to do so for the first out of the inning.
Wortham and Meyer, next two Doubledays going. Wortham hits one into right center field. It'll actually just go to right as Angora comes down with it for out number 2, bringing up Sam Meyer, the center fielder, who flew out in his first at-bat.
We talked about quick outs for Hunter Lefkis earlier in this ball game. Exactly what Calvin Burkholder has done. Total of 3 pitches so far in this inning and has 2 outs already to show for it. So he's working quickly in the bottom of the 5th.
Meyer fouls that pitch off. Meyer, another one of those players who started off the season with kind of a low batting average, jumped it up to around the highest on the squad, and then has returned back down to the 260 range on the campaign. Turn back to the mean as he fouls that one off. 2 quick foul balls hit by Meyer, makes it an 0-2 count with 2 outs on the board.
Meyer's still somebody you feel extremely confident at the plate, especially with runners in position. And even when there's nobody on for Meyer, if he can just get on, he causes havoc on the base path, leads the team in stolen bases. So if he gets on, we'll look for him to take off.
Little choppy grounder. This time, it does not appear that Brock will get there in time, and he does not. Brock can't connect with Wooten in time, and Sam Meyer gets the Doubleday's second infield single of the night.
Meyer showing the speed right there. That off the bat essentially was just like a bunt. It went around the same distance you'd like a bunt to go, and charging in was Brock, and as soon as he fielded it, he could have ate that ball, not even thrown it to first, because the result was going to be Sam Meyer was beating that out, no doubt about it.
That's the reason Sam Meyer leads this Doubleday squad in steals with 19 stolen bases, 19 stolen bases on the campaign. Could make it 20 here as he's taking a somewhat aggressive lead off of first, and it appears that Burkholder realized that as well. Solid pickoff attempt, throwing it over to Wooten.
Meyer was leaning towards second, but the throw away from the bag, so Meyer was able to get in safely.
Meyer again taking a pretty heavy lead off of first. Pitch falls in for a strike. Tyler Vivacqua up to bat. Talk about speed. Meyer first on the team in stolen bags with 19, Vivacqua trailing by 1 with 18. Another pickoff attempt this time. Meyer doesn't even need to dive. He'll just slide, He'll just walk back over. Does not seem like the pickoff attempts have phased Meyer at all. And this time, he is punched out. Stayed a bit too aggressive. Burkholder just playing pitch and catch with the first baseman instead of the catcher, and it pays off. Nabs Meyer. We'll be back at Falcon Park when we return here in the top of the 6th inning. Doubledays lead 2-1.
Luke Backman here with my broadcast partner Ryan Story as we're through 5 innings in the Doubledays, taking a 2-1 lead into the top of the 6th. Hunter Lefkis back on the mound. Jeremy Riccio at the plate as first pitch here from Lefkis. Riccio showing bunt, goes right to the pitcher Lefkis, and he catches it in the air on one knee at the bottom of the mound. So we saw Lefkis earlier take one off the back, then catch a bunt on his knee. Who said pitchers aren't athletes, Ryan?
Sure, certainly cannot say that about Lefkis. That was a tough play to make. He was falling to the ground, managed to barely snag that in his glove, even showed it to the umpire to prove that it did not drop to the ground at all. He managed to keep a hold of that ball in a tough spot.
1 pitch, 1 out. Our first pitch to Wintermute is going to be swung on and missed. Wintermute 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts in today's ball game so far. The 0-1 pitch is going to be in there for strike number 2. Quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. Between innings, you saw kids running the bases, trying to work off that sugar from the sundaes. Ryan, I got to ask, go-to Sunday ice cream flavor?
We'll go with just plain chocolate for Sundays.
As that one's going to be strike number 3. A hat trick for Hunter Lefkis against Joe Wintermute in this ball game so far. As quickly 2 outs in the top of the 6th.
First time Wintermute went down looking. Doesn't matter what he does. Chases, if he doesn't chase, Lefkis is getting him no matter what.
Lefkis has certainly had his number as Alex Wooten, the first baseman, comes to the plate 0 for 2 with a strikeout looking in his first at-bat. All right, you said the ice cream flavor. Go to Sunday topping.
Topping? We're going to go to the froyo places where they have the more diverse options, I'd say. It might not be your classic. Like, I think if you're going just classics, just the cherry wins. But if we're going like any topping, the crushed up Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
There we go. That one's low for ball number 1. Count even at 1-1. Yeah, I think if I'm going topping, I'm going crushed up Butterfinger.
Fair.
I think both solid options as Lefkis works a 1-1 count. So that one's going to be outside to Wooten. Count now 2-1. 7:53 here at Falcon Park. A beautiful night for baseball. Talked about it not being too warm earlier. 78 degrees currently. As the 2-1 pitch is going to be swung on and fouled away, evening the count at 2-2. Lefkis trying to work for his third 1-2-3 inning of the ball game, as he's 1 strike away from doing so, as the 2-2 pitch is going to be hit in the air and foul over near the bullpen of the Pilots. Is staying alive as Alex Wooten. Count remains 2-2. Hear the Death Star sound signaling 2 strikes with 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch is going to hit Wooten in the helmet as he takes it like a champ and just immediately heads down to first base. Didn't have much time to duck out of there as he wore it on off the plastic of the helmet. He stands at first base next to Brendan Smith, so a 2-out hit by pitch is going to derail a 1-2-3 inning. But Lefkis still trying to bring up the Doubledays offense here with only 1 more out to get.
Those balls to the helmet are so unique at a case-by-case basis because sometimes it could hit you on a 70-mile-per-hour pitch and it won't feel like that much, or it will feel like a lot. It'll feel like you just got hit in the head with a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, but then you could have like a mid-80s fastball hit you in the helmet, and because those helmets are so strong, the material that they're made out of, it could ricochet off the right spot. It just depends on how it comes off the helmet.
That 1-0 pitch is going to be inside for ball number 2. Crowd wondering where that one missed, and I don't care what type of speed, a ball would hit me in the helmet, I'd be down for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair. That's certainly, for us, we're not used to that up here in the booth.
Now we're protected here in the booth as that one's right down Broadway for strike number 1. We got not only the window in front of us, we got the netting. So there's no foul balls coming our way, even though I'd like to show off my hands sometimes. But the 2-1 pitch from Lefkis is delivered and fouled off the netting. Count now even, back at 2-2. Hunter Lefkis looking to get out of the top of the 6th inning. 2-2 pitch is going to be outside. Count now full 3-2 to Ben Buxton. Buxton 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts tonight. Lefkis trying to make it 3 or just conveniently Buxton being the 3rd out. Either way, now doing so in a full count. As the payoff pitch is going to be hit in the air and fouled away, sending some fans for a souvenir. And a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Alex Wooten is on the move, so he gets a head start from first base.
Buxton has gone down swinging both times, looking to change his fortune. He's just been fouling pitches off.
Payoff pitch is in the dirt low for ball number 4. So that'll be a 2-out walk. We'll send Buxton to first and advance Alex Wooten over to second base. So after recording 2 quick outs and then having both of the next hitters Lefkis is faced at 2 strikes, a hit by pitch, and a walk, have now put a little bit of traffic on the bases. As smartly, I think Mark Gialucci is going to go out and talk to Hunter Lefkis.
I agree, Luke. It is the smart decision. 2 runners on here, 2 outs. We've only seen Hunter Lefkis make it through 6 full innings twice this season. Has made it into 5 a few more times than that, but then has exited midway through the inning. So getting out of this inning unscathed would be a huge victory for Lefkis. Could be the last batter that he faces if he takes down Har right here. See what manager Matt Petrosi decides to do. Yes, a smart meeting from Gialucci there. Just get Lefkis back in the groove after a hit by pitch and a walk.
Totally agree, and I agree that I think it will be the last hitter that Lefkis could face, as I see some light tossing in the bullpen for the Doubledays. First pitch swung on and hit out into right field. Gianni DeCerbo coming in. His throw to the plate is going to be not in time, as the game will be tied thanks to a RBI single from Mason Har as he evens the ball game at 2 at Falcon Park.
Mason Har has been the MVP of this game for the Newark Pilots. Had a double in his first time around. There, the RBI single to tie things up. Har has been on point against Hunter Lefkis.
So, 2-2 tie ball game. Pilots have put together a 2-out rally to score 1, looking for more. First pitch from Lefkis to Evan Brock. The third baseman is inside for ball number 1. Brock 0 for 2 on the night. Lefkis looks back at second. It's Ben Buxton, the DH, leading off. That pitch here is going to be a called strike to Evan Brock, evening the count at 1-1.
That pitch was Lefkis's 100th of the night. I imagine if he made it through this inning, going down 1-2-3 like it originally looked like he would, he might have been able to come back in the 7th. However, looking at it right now, probably the end of things after this inning for Hunter Lefkis if he can make it out of this jam.
As he's behind in a 2-1 count here to Brock. Liam Wagner stands on deck. Lefkis not trying to let it get to that, as the curveball is going to be low for ball number 3. Now the count is 3-1 to Brock. Lefkis going to have to try and come from behind in this count. He wants to retire Brock. Just reached 8 o'clock here in Auburn. Lefkis deals from the rubber, the 3-1. That's hit in the air out to left center field. Chasing after it is Sam Meyer. He's going to call off Bobby Hardy and track it for out number 3. So Lefkis gets out of a little bit of a jam, but not before the Pilots plate 1, evening the game at 2. Doubledays come to the plate in the bottom of the 6th, trying to take back the lead as we have a tie ball game, 2-2. We'll be back here with more Auburn Doubleday baseball right after this. Bottom of the 6th here in Auburn as we have a tie ball game, 2-2 after Newark drives in a run in the top half of the inning to tie the ball game. And first pitch swinging is Tyler Vivacqua into right field as Angora chases after it as Vivacqua turns first and heads into second, sliding, and he's on with a leadoff double here in the top of the 6th inning.
I want to give Vivacqua a lot of credit right there. Angora made a good play on the ball in right field, didn't even let it get to the wall, and threw it in pretty quickly. Vivacqua's speed just completely overwhelmed the Pilots' defense. The throw didn't even have to be made because Vivacqua would have already gotten there in time.
And we were talking about it just last inning with both him and Sam Meyer. Sam Meyer leading the team with 19 steals. Vivacqua leading this, trailing Meyer with 18 steals. So two of the fastest players on this Doubledays team, and Vivacqua showing it right there as he stands on second for Bobby Hardy, who's 1 for 2 on the night with an infield single. As the first pitch he sees in this at-bat will be inside for ball 1.
Hardy made it around to score last time. Trying to do that here, or at least knock in Tyler Vivacqua for the leading run.
1-0 pitch is going to be swung on and fouled off. Count now even at 1-1. Doubledays scored their lone 2 runs back in the 4th inning, thanks to a 2-run double from Adam Sullivan that took the lead. They were trailing 1-0 previously. Took the 2-1 lead. Now we're in a 2-2 ball game. Bobby Hardy trying to make it get a 3-2 ball game. Pitch is going to be hit over to third. Looking back for Vivacqua. Now Vivacqua taking off for third base as Bobby Hardy is going to be out at first base. Vivacqua does advance 90 feet to third base. Weird play as Hardy takes a tumble as Wooten would look to be to a degree in the base path. As I believe Kyle French is going to talk with the infield umpire and argue that, hey, because the base runner ran into my first baseman, he wasn't able to make the throw over to third base and try and get Tyler Vivacqua advancing.
I think that was just a dumb play by Bobby Hardy. It looked like he was trying to maybe prevent a throw to get out Vivacqua, but Vivacqua would have made it there either way, which I think is the best credit for the Doubledays here. That's why I don't think anything extra will be called against Hardy, but just a little bit of a cheap play right there. Probably not something that the Doubledays needed or should be doing in a late regular season game.
Kyle French, we mentioned, just the second game managing. He's getting his licks in, you know. Was told by the umpires don't cross the line into fair play as he'll go back to the dugout angry with the decision. Decision being Tyler Vivacqua is still on third base, which is going to bring the infield in as Mark Gialusi comes to the plate. Pitch is going to be drilled out to left center field. Going back is Har, just in front of the warning track. He collects that. Is not even going to attempt to throw in because how far that ball was hit. As that's going to be a sac fly for Mark Gialusi. Doubledays reclaim the lead, 3-2.
Just good team ball from the Auburn Doubledays there. Hardy with the grounder that advances Vivacqua to third, and then Gialusi displaying his power for the first time today, knocking it deep into left field. Vivacqua could have walked into home.
And that's what I talked about this a few games ago for the Doubledays in this stretch, playing small ball. As the first pitch here to DeCesare's outside for ball one. You know, sometimes in these innings, you're not always going to get that huge bases clearing double. Right there, Doubledays after, as that one's drilled out to left field from Anthony DeCesare. Going back is Har looking up, and that one's over the wall for a home run for Anthony DeCesare. A solo shot that extends the lead to 4-2 Doubledays.
The second homer we've seen from the Doubledays at home this year. DeCesare saying, you know, Mark Gialusi just displayed his power but couldn't get it over the wall. Why don't I one-up him there and get a solo home run to give the Doubledays now a 4-2 lead.
How ironic as well as right there I'm talking about Doubledays playing great small ball. You're not always going to get that big hit. Anthony DeCesare says, hold on a second, Luke. Let me show you the big hit. Towering shot over the left field wall as Kyle French is going to go talk with his starter, Calvin Burkholder. Is a quick 2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Doubledays now have a 4-2 lead. We'll see whether or not French is going to pull Burkholder. Ryan talked about earlier in this ball game the fact that the Pilots don't have too much pitching after you you take Burkholder out of the game. So with 2 outs, you wonder if French is going to try and buy at least 1 more out and get out of the 6th inning. So his bullpen only has to get 9 outs.
The base is empty, probably the right decision. Sullivan, as we've talked about, isn't necessarily a power hitter, although he did have an extra base hit his last time up. You don't have the guys like Gialusi and DeCesare who have that real home run power. So I think French makes the right decision there, leaving Burkholder in the game and can pull him at the end of this inning.
First pitch to Adam Sullivan is going to be outside. I mentioned earlier in the inning, Adam Sullivan had delivered the first 2 runs thanks to a 2-run double back in the 4th inning. Now comes to the plate with the Doubledays leading by 2 runs as that pitch is going to be a called strike count, now even at 1-1. Pitch is going to be hit and fouled. Sullivan falls behind the count, 1-2 now. Burkholder deals a 1-2 pitch. That one's hit right back up the middle for Adam Sullivan. He's on base with his 2nd hit of the night. Going right back up the middle over the head of Burkholder for a single.
Sullivan putting together a pretty nice night tonight. 2 for 3 so far. We'll see if he decides to use his base running skills to make it over to second, get another runner in scoring position with Gianni DeCerbo up to bat.
It was the Pilots mounting a 2-out rally last inning. Doubledays trying to match that. Already scored 1 run thanks to the DeCesare solo shot with 2 outs. Now Sullivan with a hit and standing on first. As that pitch is going to be outside for ball 1 to Gianni DeCerbo. DeCerbo's 0 for 2 on the night, looking for his first hit. As that one's going to curve inside for strike number 1.
It's a new pitch there from Burkholder, getting that to 67 miles per hour. That had plenty of left to right bend on it.
As the 1-1 pitch is going to be hit and slapped the other way, just foul. Sliced foul at the last second for DeCerbo. So that's now going to bring him to a 1-2 count against Burkholder. Doubledays with more hits here in the 6th inning than they had in the previous 5 innings. 3 hits alone in the 6th inning to 2 hits through the first 5. So the offense not only has come alive, but they have gotten to Calvin Burkholder. 1-2 pitch. That's going to be chased and swung on and missed from DeCerbo, who's angry with himself. But the Doubledays score 2 and reclaim the lead. Thanks to not only a Marchialucci sac fly, but a towering solo shot from Anthony DeCesare right after that for a solo shot. And the Doubledays have a 4-2 lead. Stick with us for the top of the 7th. We'll have more Doubledays baseball at Falcon Park right after this. Hear the crowd getting into the YMCA between innings as we're going to have a pitching change. Number 32, Nicholas Mosiasek, now on the mound for the Doubledays. Comes in with a 2-run advantage thanks to a 2-run bottom of the 6th inning. Doubledays doing a good job after the Pilots tied the ball game in the top half of the 6th. Doubledays respond with 2 of their own to take back a lead. Exactly what you want to see from this offense. Responding in a timely manner. As Hunter Lefkis goes 6 innings, only giving up 2 runs.
Lefkis striking out 9 batters as well. Very impressive. And made it through 6 innings for just the 3rd time this season. So not only was he lasting a long time, making it a bit easier for manager Matt Petrosi, but he was also doing it with some flair, some pizzazz.
Yeah, it seemed like the Pilots hitters just could not catch up or really navigate the stuff that Lefkis was dealing with. The first pitch here to Liam Wagner is going to be hit the other way foul for strike number 1. And Mosiasek on the mound for the Doubledays. Taking over for Lefkis is the 0-1 pitch. Is going to be outside, evening the count at 1-1. One pitch in the dirt. Count now 2-1. Mosiasek rocking the yellow bat, at least yellow for the barrel. As the 2-1 pitch. Fouled off.
Hasn't been the strongest start to the campaign for Mosiasek in his first outing against Newark back on June 8th. Gave up 4 runs. 2 of them earned, didn't record a single out. Did a similar thing against Newark on June 14th. giving up 2 runs, 2 earned, and again not recording a single out. Now gets another chance against Newark here in late July.
Pitch to Wagner was low in the dirt, so count now full as the payoff pitch is going to be dealt. And that one is low and outside for ball number 4. So Wagner is on with a leadoff walk, bringing up Parker Zeiser, who singled in his first at-bat to the plate.
Now batting the catcher, number 31, Parker Zeiser.
Zeiser singled and came around to score in the 3rd. Then hit a shot up the middle that Levkis deflected off his back, got to and tossed over to first base. As first pitch to Zeiser is in there on the outside part of this plate for a strike, 84 miles per hour.
Starting off at-bat strong. That's what Misasek is going to have to do. Wants to get out of this thing.
Pitch low for ball number 1. 100% agree with you, Ryan. Getting ahead of hitters and not having to work from behind in counts is always key for pitchers, whether it be starters or relievers, rookies or veterans. Always the number 1 key is the 1-1 pitch is going to be low and outside for ball number 2. Count now 2-1. As Mark Gialucci is going to go talk Misasek on the mound.
A little bit more info on Misasek. ID out of Mitchell College, Massachusetts. Freshman. Had a few solid appearances for Mitchell his first season. Now for the Doubledays, hasn't really been able to show off his arm too much, but towards in this last final weekend of games, looks like we'll get a chance here and there to go against the Pilots.
2-1 pitch, going to be lifted in the air as Adam Sullivan, the shortstop, calls everybody off and is under that one for out number 1. Pop up to short. That's how Zeiser is going to go down.
Now batting the right fielder, number 27, Justin Angora.
Justin Angora steps to the plate. 1 for 2 with a single in his last at-bat. As the first pitch is going to be swung on and miss. 84 miles per hour gets Angora swinging for strike number 1. Nice pitch from Misasek. As the 0-1 is outside, evening the count at 1-1. Liam Wagner stands on first base after walking to lead off the inning. 1-1 is hit over to third. Charlie Wortham makes the play. Throw to second. It's going to be picked by Tyler Vivacqua. No throw to first, but the more important play is Vivacqua making the pick and making it look smooth over there at second base for the second out of the inning.
And not only that, but I think that's a smart play from Vivacqua, not throwing it over to first. We've seen at times Vivacqua's tried to turn that double play, gotten greedy, and thrown a slightly wild ball that sometimes has led to errors and led to players advancing over to second base. This time Vivacqua making a smart veteran play, and those are the plays that he's going to need to make come playoff time.
Agree, and Angora with good speed. It was only going to rush Vivacqua, and the throw from third to second took a quick second, so good job by Vivacqua securing just 1 out as beautifully painted on the outside corner is a strike to Grant Ingram. Ingram 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout in tonight's game. He's the extra hitter for the Pilots in tonight's contest as the 0-1 pitch is going to be hit in the air. Brendan Smith is going to take a few steps to his left, but realize that one is headed towards and into the crowd. So quickly ahead in the count now is Misasek 0-2 to Grant Ingram as he receives a new baseball from Mark Gialucci and steps back now on the rubber. As home plate umpire saying Misasek's working a little too quick for him. As now he gives him the okay up in the count 0-2 to Ingram. As the pitch is going to be hit and just foul past third base. Ingram staying alive in 0-2 count.
Sasek still looking for his first punch out of the season. Has the chance to do it here. Stuck Ingram in an 0-2 hole, and Ingram struck out in his last time around.
Isaac peers in to Gialusi, has the sign he likes, now delivers an 0-2 on the move as the runner. Throw down to second is going to be not in time. As it looked for a second, then Justin Angora might have slid past and off the bag, but looks like he was able to keep at least some part of his hand on the base as Sullivan kept on the tag the entire way. So this is going to be a stolen base for Angora. Ball 1 to Grant. As now the 1-2 pitch is hit in the air to left field. Bobby Hardy starts in now, able to come in a few more steps for out number 3. After a leadoff walk, Nicholas Masiasek is able to get through the 7th without giving up a run. Doubledays still hold a 4-2 lead. Look to extend it here in the bottom of the 7th. Stick with us for more Auburn Doubleday baseball.
And Kieran has some singers down behind home plate. They're going to lead us in Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Again, Doubledays will return to action right here down the bar tomorrow night. So they once again take on the Newark Pilots. First pitch is at 6:30, so please join us tomorrow night. And we're reminded that tomorrow night is also our last fireworks night. We'll have fireworks right after the game for you. That's tomorrow night at 6:30 against Newark.
Bottom of the 7th at Falcon Park is, I don't know if this is surprising you, Ryan, but surprises me a little as Calvin Burkholder still on the mound, for the Pilots. As he's going to take on Brendan Smith, who's going to be the leadoff hitter in the bottom half of the inning. Does it surprise you to see Burkholder still in this ball game, Ryan?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit surprising. Burkholder, as I mentioned early in the game, had been going against his scouting report, where he had been getting a lot of outs very frequently without getting strikeouts, as that's a grounder that'll get past the shortstop.
Smith making enough contact to go right back up the middle and beat out any throws. The shortstop decided, hey, better against throwing over to first, as he knew Smith was going to beat it out anyway. So that's going to be a leadoff single for Brendan Smith, bringing up Charlie Wortham to the plate.
As I was saying, it was Burkholder going against the scouting report, getting outs without getting strikeouts. And he's more known as a strikeout pitcher who does give up hits here and there. And so then when that kind of shifted back towards the mean, back towards the average, and he started giving up those hits, and he wasn't able to replicate the strikeouts, wasn't able to start racking those up, it looked like the outing was going to fall apart for him, which it kind of did, giving up 4 runs over 3 innings. However, it looks like Kyle French going to choose to leave his starting pitcher in the game, probably more due to lack of options than anything else.
I think that's the number one point for Kyle French, is the fact that you'd rather have one of your top starters in the ball game than, you know, some options you might not feel 100% confident in, as that one's hit in the air over to shallow right field just past the infield, as the first baseman Wooten is going to collect that one for a foul out from Charlie Wortham for out number 1.
Sam Meyer.
As Sam Meyer now comes to the plate. Meyer reached first base in his last at-bat via an infield single. Evan Brock, the third baseman, playing a little bit in, playing about a foot back from the bag, anticipating another slow roller. He knows with the speed of Meyer, he's going to have to get to it quickly and deliver it across the diamond. That's what happened last time. The speed of Meyer beat out the throw of Brock as that one's fouled off for strike number 1.
Yeah, and this is a scenario where I wouldn't even hit an intentional bunt from Meyer. I know we had talked last time, but effectively served as a bunt. But if he were to lay one down here, get Smith over to scoring position with Bakwa on deck, I think that'd be a strategic baseball play.
That one is inside for ball number 1. I totally agree with you, Ryan. I would not be mad at a bunt. And because of the fact Sam Meyer can also beat out a bunt. It's not an automatic out. It's not an automatic sacrifice bunt if Sam Meyer's putting it down with his speed. But so far, with the first 2 pitches, we haven't seen him show bunt. So the 1-1 is going to be inside. Replica of the previous pitch. Count now 2-1. Doubledays done a better job not leaving men on base. Only 2 runners left on base in this game. Granted, the first 3 innings, nobody reached base for them, but still hold the lead 4-2. That one's going to be hit and fouled away. Doubledays lead 4-2. Also have 1 more hit than the Pilots, 6-5. The majority of those hits coming here, both 1 in the 7th and 3 in the 6th. The Doubledays offense has got started sooner. Sooner rather than later. This ball game. That one outside, bringing the count full.
Meyer doing a good job of working Burkholder's pitch count up, around 85 on the night so far.
Payoff pitch is going to be hit in the air out to center field. It's going to be CCO coming, going out, and making the catch for out number 2. Meyer flies out to center field, bringing the top of the order back up, and Tyler Vivacqua.
Vivacqua doubled his last time up, came around to score. Double here could potentially plate Brendan Smith.
Vivacqua jumped on the first pitch he saw from Burkholder, pulling that one to right field and was off to the races. See if he jumps on the first pitch he sees, as that one's going to be low for ball 1. Vivacqua smartly keeping the bat on his shoulder for that one. It's a count 1-0. Sun setting here in Auburn as we approach 8:30 Falcon Park, and the 1-0 pitch to Vivacqua is going to be low. Vivacqua ahead in the count now at 2-0. Only 2 more home games after this for the Doubledays in the regular season. Tomorrow night, Sunday, both against Newark. Tomorrow at 6:30, Sunday at 5 o'clock. The 2-0 pitch is going to be hit in the air. Vivacqua mad at himself not getting a hold of that one the way he would have liked, as Riccio comes in and makes the catch for out number 3. So after a leadoff single from Brendan Smith, Doubledays not able to get anybody else on base as the Pilots keep it at a 4-2 ball game. The Doubledays come to the field in the top of the 8th, trying to keep it a 4-2 ball game and a 2-run lead. We'll be back with more Doubledays baseball at Falcon Park. Stick with us.
All right, you guys. So for the 50-50, our prize pool tonight is $183. And our winning ticket number is
485396.
485396. Do we have a winner anywhere? Do you? All right, we have a winner for that. All right, it's for the Gabe Warren jersey.
out for Newark, center fielder, number 7, Jeremy Riccio.
Jeremy Riccio, first batter of the 8th inning for the Pilots, comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI single back in the 3rd inning as sees first pitch swinging. Deep fly ball to center field, but going back and under it for out number 1 is going to be Sam Meyer. First pitch for Evan Froelich, the new pitcher for the Doubledays, results in a first pitch fly out from Riccio.
Froelich on the campaign, recording a 13.5 ERA, but things have been up for him recently. His first 2 starts made it through just a third of an inning each, not starts, excuse me, appearances. But then his last time out went against Niagara on July 18th and made it through 2 very solid innings of work, giving up just 1 run. One earned run. But Froelich has certainly started to earn more time in this rotation.
And you wonder if there's a little bit of an adjustment period for Froelich going against these college hitters here in the PGCBL. And as of late, like you mentioned, his best stuff in his last appearance, looking to build off of that here tonight. 1-1 count to the shortstop Joe Wintermute as he'll look at strike number 2. Wintermute trying to turn his night around, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Falls behind in the count, 0-2 now. Froelich shakes off the first 2 signs he sees. Now it's ready to deliver, as that one's going to be swung on and miss for Joe Wintermute as he struck out for the 4th time here tonight. First strikeout of the night for Froelich.
It has not been Wintermute's night. It doesn't matter who's pitching, if it's swinging or if it's looking. He's gone down in pretty much every way imaginable. Just has to rest up for tomorrow because maybe he'll bring some better stuff.
First pitch here and this at bat to Wooten is going to be high. And one thing that I like and makes me feel that Froelich feels more comfortable and in command on the mound is the fact he shook off the first 2 signs that catcher Mark Gialusi gave him on that 3rd strike pitch to Wintermute as that ball is hit up the middle, putting his glove down and quickly fielding that one is Froelich as he works a quick 1, 2, 3 inning here in the top of the 8th. As the Pilots go down in order and the Doubledays still hold a 2-run lead, looking to add some insurance runs in the bottom of the 8th. Doubledays come to the plate. Stick with us for more baseball at Falcon Park. Bobby Hardy will lead things off for the Doubledays in the bottom of the 8th inning. Gets a new pitcher, Grant Ingram. He's not new to the game. He's been the extra hitter in the lineup for the Pilots here tonight. Now will stand on the mound to face the Doubledays. The bottom of the inning, showing bunt is Bobby Hardy. A beauty down the third base line as he's safe down the first base line. Bobby Hardy, if you ever want to execute a bunt, just look what Bobby Hardy did right there.
That was absolute perfection, as good as you can get it there. Grant Ingram, though, for having bobbled it when he first reached the ball, that was a nice throw over to first to be a few steps behind Hardy. Would have potentially made it a close play if Hardy's bunt wasn't so perfect.
So Hardy stands on first. Now Mark G. Lucy, the catcher in tonight's ball game, comes to the plate. Has been hit by a pitch and a sacrifice fly. 2 of his 3 at-bats. His first pitch is going to be inside from Ingram for ball number 1. As the 1-0 is going to be swung on and miss. G. Lucy looking to do damage with that swing, not able to connect as the count now evens at 1-1.
G. Lucy's had a very good last 2 at-bats. His second at-bat of the day, got hit by a pitch, came around to score. Last time up, a deep sac fly into left.
That one's past the third baseman. Brock into left field. Stopping at second is going to be Bobby Hardy. Throw back to second, not in time as Hardy gets back to the base in time. So that'll be a single for Mark Gialucci, advancing the runner.
Unlucky for Bobby Hardy, would have had the easy stolen base. Instead, just got to second much quicker than expected. A great hit there from Mark Gialucci, who's really turned up in this ball game.
Anthony DeCesare now steps to the batter's box, flexed his power back in the 6th inning with a solo shot out there in left field over the wall. Now comes to the plate with runners on first and second. Aaron Ingram staring at Bobby Hardy at second, now delivering the first pitch, which will be a called strike. Quickly taking a look around the league so far. Batavia, obviously the team in first place, ahead 10-4 against Geneva. As the 0-1 pitch is going to be hit on the ground over to short. Flip to second for 1, throw to first is going to be in time to get DeCesare for 2. So a 6-4-3 double play now brings 2 outs to the inning, with Bobby Hardy standing on third. Crowd not a fan of that call, thinking DeCesare beat that throw to first base. Additionally, wrapping up, looking around the league, Jamestown is knotted with the Niagara Ironbecks 2-2. They're in the top of the 7th. And then the Niagara Falls Americans, is the first pitch to Adam Sullivan, is fouled off. The Americans lead the Pioneers just by 1 run, 6-5 in the bottom of the 5th. Niagara at one point led that game 5-0, so the Pioneers have made a little bit of a rally in that one.
That game is almost a win-win for Auburn. A win for Niagara Falls means a loss for Elmira, who I then believe a loss there would drop them out of the playoff race and clinch Auburn at the very minimum 4 seed. However, Niagara Falls just a game ahead of Auburn right now, so a loss for them and a win for Auburn here tonight ties up 2 teams in the standings.
Additionally, looking at that Jamestown game, is the Doubledays hope to try and host a playoff game here at Falcon Park, as Sullivan goes down swinging, as that will end the bottom of the 8th. Coming out to the mound, looking to put the finishing touches on this ball game, is Evan Frolick. Doubledays lead 4-2. Stick with us for the top of the 9th to see if the Doubledays can finish the job. We'll be right back with more Doubledays baseball. Doubledays look to close out a 4-2 win. 4-2 ball game, excuse me. Looking for the win here as they're 3 outs away from it in the 9th inning. Evan Frolick steps back onto the rubber after a 1-2-3 first inning of work in the 8th. His first pitch to Ben Buxton is going to be swung on and missed for strike number 1.
Narco playing in between innings. Saw catcher Mark Gialusi nodding his head to it. The entire Doubledays team ready to go and fired up here against Newark.
Frolick certainly seems fired up. 87 miles per hour on that fastball. Gets a swinging Ben Buxton quickly. Frolick ahead in the count, 0-2. Now the pitch is going to be hit and fouled away. Staying alive is Buxton. Count remains 0-2. We're here.
Frolick, for his 88 mile per hour velocity, just does it very effortlessly. Something that generally, you don't see out of young guys. They always seem to look like they're throwing hard, but he just has that natural speed.
And that one's right down the middle for strike number 3. 87 on the dot for Frolick as he sits down Ben Buxton, looking for the first out of the 9th inning.
Buxton has struck out 3 times tonight. Talked about how Joe Wintermute has had a rough outing. Buxton hasn't been able to fare much better against these Doubledays pitchers.
Mason Haar, he's fared well against Doubleday pitching so far tonight, going 2 for 3 with an RBI. He steps to the plate. The Pilots are now down to their last 2 outs. First pitch, Frolick is in there for strike number 1. 4 pitches in the inning and 4 strikes from Frolick, and I don't think his velocity has dropped below 87 in each of these 4 pitches. 0-1 is hit, fouled for strike number 2. So once again, quickly ahead in the count, 0-2 to Haar.
Wouldn't hate to see him go to his off speed here. Another 87 mile per hour pitch fouled off.
That one is just low for ball number 1, first ball of the inning that Frolick has thrown. Now, from the windup, a 1-2 pitch is going to be low, evening the count at 2-2. Mark Gialusi stood up for half a second, thinking that was strike number 3, and there looks to be chirping from the dugout of the Pilots. Zone play umpire looked at him. Now back to the mound. Is that one fouled away from Haar, staying alive in this at-bat. On deck is Evan Brock. Brock 0 for 3. Haar looks at a 2-2 pitch and hit in the air. Brendan Smith chasing after it in foul territory, but that one will fall close and right next to the clubhouse of the Pilots. So staying alive once again is Haar. 2 consecutive foul balls with 2 strikes.
Readying for the 7th pitch of the at-bat.
Frolick worked a quick 8th inning, only throwing 7 pitches in that entire inning. Going to throw the 7th pitch in this at-bat to Haar, upcoming. Has given him his toughest test while being in the game. Frolick shaking off 3 signs, finds one he likes, now delivers. That one's going to be hit out to right field. Gianni Serbo going back and making the grab for out number 2, originally breaking in. Then backtracking was DeSerbo in right field. Doubledays are one out away from victory.
It all comes down to Evan Brock, the third baseman, who's 0 for 3 on the night so far.
Brock steps to the plate for the Pilots, being their last hope at the moment. Frolick has come into this ball game on 5 up and 5 down, looking to retire. Brock, as the first pitch is going to be in there for strike number 1. Ryan, this looks like a different Evan Frolick on the mound than we saw in his first couple of appearances here with the Doubledays. the pitcher who's in complete command, as the 0-1 pitch is going to be high for ball number 1.
Froelich has just been on point, throwing the pitches that he's wanted to throw, and the Pilots have not been able to adjust in the change of speed. It also helps that the accuracy has been on point as well.
1-1 high, count now 2-1. I think that's the main point, the accuracy. Froelich has been able to locate his pitches exactly where Mark Gialusi has him targeted behind the plate. Froelich is in a zone on the mound right now. Is behind an account for the first time here tonight to Brock, 2-1. He works from the mound. That one's going to be swung on and fouled, evening the count and bringing Pilots to their final strike. Brock trying to extend this ball game. Froelich trying to end it. 2-2 count. Froelich gets the sign he likes. Now delivers the 2-2. That one's hit in the air and fouled off once again. Brock staying alive. Pilots are trying to go down without fight on Froelich's side. He shakes off the first sign. Now dealing the 2-2. That one's going to be low, bringing the count full at 3-2. Brock steps out of the batter's box, now re-enters. Froelich shaking his head yes before Gialusi was even in his stance. The payoff pitch is going to be ripped foul just to the left of the third base line.
Brock was all over that one, maybe a little early. Not too surprising considering Froelich normally hits 87, 88 with his fastball. They're a little bit slower, 85. Doesn't seem like Brock was ready for that slight dip in velocity.
3-2 payoff pitch is drilled into the air out to left field. It's going to go Bobby Hardy back at the wall, as he's not going to make the play as it hits off the top of the wall. As Evan Brock is going to go to second with a stand-up double down to the last strike. Evan Brock delivers a 2-out double to keep the Pilots' hopes alive in this ball game.
Brock scoring isn't that end of the world for the Doubledays, but Liam Wagner, the tying run, is now in the batter's box. And that ball potentially could have been a lot worse, just a few feet away from being the second home run we've seen today.
Liam Wagner steps to the plate. 0-for-2 on a walk. First pitch swinging. That's going to be hit over to Charlie Wortham. Fields and across the diamond to first. Making the pick is Brendan Smith for out number 3. Evan Froelich and the Doubledays seal the deal here in the 9th as the Doubledays win 4-2 and clinch themselves a spot in the postseason. As what a pick from Brendan Smith we highlighted at the beginning of the game. We haven't seen him play first here at Falcon Park. What a pick to end the ball game as the Doubledays win 4-2. Ryan, a quick ball game here tonight, finishing before 9 o'clock here in Auburn. Talk to me, what impressed you the most of the Doubledays here tonight?
As a team, I think it was a great performance all around. I think you can give a lot of credit to Anthony DeCesare with Doubleday's second home run of the campaign. Only Kurt Doubleday to homer at Falcon Park this year with Colson Thompson moving on earlier in the season. But really the pitching is what stood out to me. Hunter Lefkis started off the game, a pitcher who has been very solid, very reliable for the Doubledays, but generally doesn't make it too late into games. 6 very good innings of work today. Then Nicholas Messiasek, who's had a few rough outings throughout the season, coming in, not giving up a run. Evan Froelich, who again, as you mentioned, has struggled at times throughout this campaign, ends the game with 2 amazing innings of work. The pitching staff as a whole really stood out to me tonight.
I totally agree with you. This was a playoff performance from the Doubledays on really every facet you could think about. Offensively, while they didn't score 19 runs and 10 runs like they have the 2 nights prior, scoring 4 runs, that's not season high or anything, but it was timely runs. It was right after the Pilots tied this game at 2. Doubledays come back in the bottom half of the inning, score 2, and hand it over to the bullpen, and you hit the nail on the head with the bullpen. Messiasek and Froelich coming in relief of Lefkis. All three prove that if the Doubledays, obviously going to the postseason, but play deep into the postseason, these are all guys that you feel comfortable handing the ball to after these performances here tonight at Falcon Park. You have to feel happy. Back here tomorrow at Falcon Park, it's against the same team, the Newark Pilots. What do you expect for Newark on their side of things? Obviously, going to want some revenge for tonight's loss for the Doubledays. What should you expect from the Pilots tomorrow?
Well, I think the Pilots will come out here, and I think they're going to play better in the field. I thought that Newark's fielding, while it started off very strong, didn't really stay the same level of consistent throughout the game. It faltered a little bit towards the end. I think in the field they'll improve, and likely at the plate we won't see the same level of Doubledays dominance. You never know though. Owen Burchard is due to be up on the mound maybe this game or the game on Sunday, so Newark's going to be ready with their bats. It all comes down to if Auburn's performance on the mound can stay top tier like it was tonight.
100% as the Doubledays win and clinch here is quickly looking at scores around the lead. Niagara and Jamestown, the Niagara Ironbacks and Jamestown Tarp Skunks are still tied at 2 apiece. That's in the top of the 8th inning. The Niagara Falls Americans still lead Elmira 6-5 in the top of the 6th. And Batavia has blown open the game in the top of the 8th against the Geneva Red Wings 14-4. So Doubledays still looking for a little bit more help in trying to get up to that 2 seed and host a game here at Falcon Park. The good news, your Doubledays are going to the playoffs. Doubledays fans say the Doubledays aren't able to get up to that 2 seed. You have 2 more opportunities to potentially come and see the Doubledays here at Falcon Park in the regular season. Tomorrow's one of them. Again, playing the Newark Pilots. First pitch is at 6:30, and stay for after the game for fireworks.
Yes, there will be fireworks, huh?
And then Sunday at 5 o'clock, the regular season finale, obviously against the Newark Pilots as well. Doubledays looking to try and climb as high in the standings as they can and potentially host a playoff game here for you at Falcon Park. That's going to do it here for us tonight. Doubledays win 4-2 in a game that took about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
And one more thing I want to note before we wrap things up. Season tickets for the upcoming year for the 2026 summer are now available, so go get those tickets while you can. They're on sale right now, so go sign up for Falcon Park baseball next year. There's the Auburn Doubledays. Been balling out this year, and they're going to be right back here next year. Be the first to get those tickets.
100%. Hey, the Doubledays have shown out for their home fans. A record of 18-2-1 this season at Falcon Park. We want to thank everybody who attends these games for their support. We couldn't do it without you. Wrapping up tonight, Doubledays win 4-2 and clinch themselves a spot in the postseason. We'll be right back here tomorrow at 6:30 for first pitch. If you can't make it out to the ballpark, which I highly encourage you try and do if you're in the area, as fireworks are happening after the game. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the Doubleday YouTube channel and hit that bell so you know the next time we are live tomorrow as the Doubledays defeat the Newark Pilots 4-2. Enjoy your Friday night. We're done with baseball before 9 o'clock here. Enjoy your Friday night. We'll be back with you tomorrow for more Auburn Doubleday baseball. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Have a great night, everybody.